Just a quick recall. How many types of processors are there? Tell me what are the different kinds of processor? What are the name of those processor? Girija?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what are the name of this processor?
80 mega 328 and 80 mega 16 U2.
16 U2. Now, what are the functions of 80 mega at mega? It's actually at mega 362, another is 16 U2. So, what are the function of these two processor?
So 16 U2 makes the connection through USB, and 328 makes the 32 makes loads the program into the system.
Okay, very good. And thank you, Girija. And we have also discussed about the Ethernet Shield also. So Ethernet Shield is basically if you want to add some functionalities into your Arduino board. Like if you want to put an LCD board for display purpose, that case you can use LCD Ethernet LCD Shield on top of your Arduino board. And if you want to put the music synthesizer, music generator, that case you can put synthesizer shield, or you can use Ethernet shield in case if you want to connect your Arduino board with the Ethernet network. Okay. Now, even for each of the Ethernet shield, the respective Ethernet shield libraries are available, so you can download the libraries and you can immediately use it in your sketch. So I have shown you so what is sketch, where you are putting your code and flash your code so that it burned out in your Atmega 328 processor and it start functioning. Like here we have given one example of an Ethernet shield library. So it's a subroutine basically, where it is taking the parameters IP address, then unit 16T port, so port address, which port it will be available. Each of the Ethernet shield will be connected with a particular port. Port means it can consider the connectivity or connection pin also. Now the thing is that whenever you are connecting with through a particular port, you have to be assured that that port must be open. So if that port is blocked with some other Ethernet shield or other applications or with some other sensor, that case the port may not work. Okay. Now first it will check with all the sockets that and suppose from socket number 0 to socket number 13, it will check maximum socket number is written over here, and up to maximum socket number if it checks, and if it doesn't find any available socket, it will return 0. Otherwise what it will check that it will send one for loop and increase the socket number. Now whenever it will find out that a particular socket number the status is 1, so immediately it will start sending its data through that particular socket number. So this is one of the example. So you don't need to understand the entire subroutine for the Ethernet shield. Only thing you need to know that what are the parameter value, that is the IP address as well as and it's an Ethernet shield for it is an Ethernet shield only. So for the Ethernet shield, you require the IP address for connectivity. So you need to know the what IP address is to be used and what port number to be used in the Arduino board. Correct. Next is that how to how your codes are being run. So as you have you gone through the compiler subjects? Compiler. Compiler is there in your 7th semester, or it has already been covered in the 6th semester? Path. I have taught the compiler, the 2020 batch. This means this year pass out students batch, even last to last batch means 2019 batch, even 2018 batch. What I can remember that the compiler was there in the 7th semester. So can you tell me quickly that compiler you have gone through or you are going through right now? Parth, I am asking you. So I think Parth has opened his mobile and then has gone. So Parth attendance I am not considering. So this type of attitude will not be considered at all. So whenever Parth will come ना, Parth को बोल देना उसका 2 attendance मैंने काट लिया. Anybody? Ritam? Hello Ritam.
Hello?
Ritam, can you tell me the compiler is there in your this semester or in the last semester?
Last semester.
Or last semester. Okay,
Last
so you have gone through the compilation phase. Now, can you tell me what is the function of a compiler? Compiler क्या काम करता है? If you don't know, that I mean that I don't know, so no issue. But at least don't keep mum. That
Okay.
you should. Yeah. Can you tell me? Hello, Ritam?
अच्छा भूल गया.
भूल गया. Okay, okay, fine. Anybody? Himjyoti is there. Himjyoti, can you tell me?
सर कंपाइलर ईच एंड एवरी कोड को सर ये करता है, कंपाइल करता है, उसमें एरर है कि नहीं ये सब देखता है, फिर एग्जीक्यूट करता है.
ये तो तुमने ये एक नॉन सीएससी स्टूडेंट्स की तरह बोल दिया. एटलीस्ट आई एक्सपेक्ट यू कुड आंसर इट प्रॉपर्ली. हाँ बोलो.
सर मेरा आवाज जा रहा है ना सर? हेलो सर.
हाँ हाँ तुम्हारा आवाज सुनाई दे रहा है. आई कैन हियर यू.
सर हम लोग का मतलब कंपाइलर डिजाइन तो इस सेमेस्टर सर नहीं है, शायद नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर होगा हम लोग का.
क्या बात कर रहे हो? लास्ट सेमेस्टर नहीं हुआ क्या? अभी
सर
आप
लास्ट सेमेस्टर. हाँ सर. सर लास्ट वही सर लास्ट सेमेस्टर था सर.
हाँ वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. लास्ट सेमेस्टर नहीं था क्या कंपाइलर?
सर
हिमज्योति लास्ट सेमेस्टर में तुमने एग्जाम भी तो दिया कंपाइलर का, या नहीं
हाँ
दिया?
सर. हाँ सर. सर
भूल गया?
हाँ सर. नो
हाँ
सर मेरा नेटवर्क बहुत इशू हो रहा है सर. अच्छे से आ रहा है क्या सर साउंड?
हाँ
सर
हाँ
मेरा
आवाज
जियो
अच्छी
पूरा डाउन
से
है
आ
सर
रहा है.
आज.
अच्छी तरह से आ रहा है, पर तुम्हारा बात सुन के मुझे थोड़ा चक्कर आ रहा है.
सॉरी सर.
डोंट गिव मी अ शॉक. ये हाई वोल्टेज शॉक दे दिया. एनीवे मुझे देख के लगता है आप लोग कंपाइलर ठीक तरह से पढ़े नहीं हो. सो कंपाइलर. हाँ बोलो.
सर दिस पार्ट सर मेरा माइक काम नहीं कर रहा था. मैंने अभी जस्ट माइक लॉग इन किया है, लगाया है फिर से.
मैंने तुम्हारा तो स्टार्ट किया. You
हाँ
should
सर
at least write it in the chat box.
सर मेरा चैट बॉक्स एनेबल नहीं है. आई कैन इवन इफ आई राइट वो शो नहीं करता है.
Okay, you tell me what is compiler.
सर माने बेसिकली कंपाइलर क्या है ना क्या? हेलो सर.
हाँ हाँ बेसिकली बोलो.
सर कंपाइलर तो एक लाइक इट्स काइंड ऑफ ए प्रोग्राम दैट कंपाइल्स द होल ऑफ द कोड. जो हम लोग कोड लिखते हैं उसको कोड को कंपाइल करता है.
So what is compile?
Like sir, converting that सर वो जो हम लोग लिखते हैं उसको मशीन लैंग्वेज में वो लोग वो कंपाइलर दैट ट्रांसफॉर्म्स इट इनटू द मशीन लैंग्वेज, मशीन अंडरस्टैंडेबल लैंग्वेज.
Okay. What are the different stages of compilation?
Stages.
What are the different stages of compiler?
Sir, वो तो सर वो different वो lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, that's all of that, right, sir?
हाँ बोलो बोलो क्या क्या है लेक्सिकल एनालिसिस.
So lexical है, syntax है, then
Very
we
good.
have intermediate code generator, semantic analyzer,
Very good.
और
तो अब तो फिर लेक्सिकल एनालिसिस, सिंटैक्स एनालिसिस, देन सिमेंटिक एनालिसिस.
semantic, एक semantic है सर, और एक intermediate code generation है.
After that, intermediate code generation.
Generation, yes sir.
Yeah, intermediate code generation. Code generation. चलो पूरा बोल पाओगे तो तुमको 1 मार्क एक्स्ट्रा देंगे. After that,
और उसके बाद सर और
कोड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन मैं बोल दे रहा हूँ. कोड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन. देन
एक हाँ कोड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन है. उसके बाद एक कोड जनरेटर भी है.
हाँ इसके बाद कोड जनरेशन. वेरी गुड.
जनरेशन, हाँ.
Very good. So there are 6 stages of compiler. Compiler is basically convert the high level languages to machine understandable language. If you write your code maybe either in C or maybe either in C++, just a minute, a call has come. Okay, so get back to the point again. There are 6 stages. So let's see, compiler is basically convert the high level languages to machine level languages. Now, whatever code you are writing in C or C++ or Python, so say for the same execution means you want to add 2 numbers. For that, you may write it in C or you may be write it in Python. Whatever you write, how the machine will understand, because machine only understand the hex code level 3 address instruction, like add. If you write add r1 comma r2, means machine will understand that there is 2 register r1 and r2. You put the value in r1 and r2 and add them, and that resultant value will come to r2. So machine will understand this kind of instruction. Not only that, so this kind of instruction, if you write it in hex code, then only machine will understand. Now it is our duty is that for that addition of 2 numbers, if I write this code in C or C++ or Java or Python, whatever it may be, it should go through a process so that that high level instruction will be converted to machine understandable instruction. For that, the compiler does these things. If you take the example of whatever I am telling you in English, the person who doesn't know English, he will not understand what I am willing to say. So there should be somebody who will convert my communication or my conversation to the conversation understandable by that person. So that case, that person will be the interpreter. Now, what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? In a compiler, you will take the whole code and then it will convert it to machine understandable code. But in case of interpreter, it will take one by one line of your code and convert it. Like in your interpreter, they will also do the same process. Means that whatever you are saying, it will take the first speech and then it will convert. And after that, it will take the next speech. Then after that, it will convert. So the interpreter job also is quite like same. Now, in that case, also we require to understand the compilation, entire compilation process. Means that whatever you are writing in your sketch, first it will go to the compiler of C, because I am writing the entire code in C only. So to the compilation process. First it will do the lexical analysis, then syntax analysis, then semantic analysis, then intermediate code generation, code optimization, then code generation. Okay, so I think you might be knowing that each step, what are the function of each step. So I am not going into the details of all those steps. Just you keep it in mind that whatever you are writing, that will be compiled first. Okay. Now after compilation, it is not going to convert into the machine understandable language. So what it is being converted? It is converted in a compiled program. Whatever high level program you have written, it is converted to a compiled program. Now that compiled program will go through another step. It's called linker. Sorry. So it will go to another stage, that is called linker. Now what is the function of the linker? In the program you will find out so many user defined functions are there. Suppose in C, what are the user defined functions? Can you tell me? In C, what are the user defined function or any library function you are using? ये तो बेसिक क्वेश्चन है, you should answer. हिमज्योति, what are the user defined function, what are the library function you are using in C? अरे मेरा नाक मत कटवाओ तुम लोग, ये तो बेसिक क्वेश्चन आई एम आस्किंग. व्हाट इज यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन? हिमज्योति, अरिंदम शर्मा.
Yes, sir.
हाँ,
Hello,
what
sir.
is user defined function? हाँ, library function in
Yes,
C.
sir. Am I audible?
In a program. हाँ. Yes, हिमज्योति, you are
सर
audible.
जो सर मेरा नेटवर्क के लिए बहुत ये हो रहा है सर. यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन सर वो हो सर मेन फंक्शन ले सकते हैं हम लोग. फिर जो एक फंक्शन हम लोग देते हैं जैसे कुछ नंबर्स लेके उसको हम लोग सम करते हैं सर. जैसे हम लोग कुछ नंबर्स लेके उसको टोटल करेंगे तो सम एज ए फंक्शन यूज कर सकते हैं सर. वो यूजर डिफाइंड हो गया सर. हम लोग जो डिफाइन करेंगे या सबसे सर वो तो मेन फंक्शन भी सर हम लोग डिफाइन करते हैं ना यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन में सर.
printf, scanf, can we
हाँ
consider
सर
them
वो
as a user defined function?
सर वो तो लाइब्रेरी फंक्शन होगा सर. प्रिंटफ स्कैनर.
Right. So there are several user defined function and library functions are there. But in case of suppose user defined function, you already declare those function within your code, right? But for the library function, you have to declare those libraries. If you don't declare hash include stdio.h, your printf and scanf will not work. It will show a compilation error. Yes or no?
Yes sir.
Huh? Now, whenever you have declared std hash include stdio.h, your printf and scanf will work. Now, whenever you are going to compile the entire program, then what will happen? Immediately, what will you do that? What are the contents of stdio.h hash include conio.h hash include math.h? So it will include entire content of the library within your program. The best example is that whenever you are compiling a 30 lines code, you will find out that code size will become 530. Your 30 lines code, it will be converted to a 530. How the rest of the 500 lines of codes are coming and from where it is coming? It is just by adding those libraries within your program. Now, who is including libraries in your program? The linker is including those libraries in your program. So this is the job of a linker. You can see here the linker is there who is connecting the library functions with your compiled program. And after that, there is another procedure will come, that is called loader. So loader will load the entire program in your data structure so that this will be converted to a hex file. Now that .hex file will go and then it will be uploaded in your Arduino board. It is not like that whatever program you have written, it will directly go to your Arduino board and then it will start working. It will be compiled within your sketch compiler and then converted to your hex file, then that hex code will get loaded within your Arduino board. Now can you tell me where it will get loaded within the Arduino board? Which portion it will get loaded? Ankur Shoikia, can you tell me where it will get loaded? Girija?
At Mega 328.
Very good. At Mega 328. So at Mega 328 will take care of those codes and compile those codes. So I think, is this clear to you, student? Student, up to this much, is this clear or shall I explain it again? Clear. Okay, fine. Now, going through the pins. So the pins are the wires connected to the microcontroller. Pins are the interface of the microcontroller. That's fine. Pin voltages are controlled by sketch. So through the sketch, you can control the voltages. As you can see here, the topmost, these pins are the digital pins or the analog pins. Can you tell me? The upper pins? These pins are the digital pins or digital pins. Very good. And these portions of the pins are the analog pins. Okay. Now these digital pins will act as an input pin as well as output pin. But this is an analog pin. So this one will only be input pin but no output pin. There is no output pin. Okay. There is no output pins are possible. Now if here you can see that this one is your sensor. This one is your sensor and this one is your actuator. So how do I know that this one is the sensor and this one is the actuator? This is an LED light actually. This is an LED light. So this LED light is acting as the actuator, LED light, and this one is suppose temperature sensor, or yeah, temperature sensor. I am considering it as a temperature sensor, right? Now through this temperature sensor, it is getting the temperature. If the temperature goes beyond the threshold value, immediately it will pass this value to the actuator, that is the LED light, and the LED light will start blinking. So from the blinking of the LED light, I may come to know that the temperature is there. Got my point? So the input of the sensors and the output actuators both are connected to the same digital pin, because the digital pin can act as an input pin as well as output pin. Okay. Now the output pins are controlled by the Arduino, but the input pins are controlled by the your sketch only. Whatever you write through this, your input pins can be controlled, and the voltage also determined by your sketch only. Okay. Now the regarding this pin, so read some pins are digital only, and read digital input, write digital output, and their voltage level is 0 voltage to 5 voltage. And some pins can be analog inputs, but there is no analog output. Okay. Now there are few examples of your input output pin. So these functions allow access to the pins. Through this function you can access the pin, like pin mode, pin number. So if you give the pin number, suppose 1, that case it will be considered as the digital pin. But if you give the pin number as A0, that means it will be considered as the analog pin. So already I have told that the digital input pins are from 0 to 13 and analog input pins are from A0 to A5. Can you remember that one? Even here also it is written A0 to A5. Your analog pins are there and digital pins are 0 to 13. So here you are writing your pin number as well as mode. Mode means whether it is a read mode or a write mode. Okay. Now the set pin act as either an input or output, or mode means it is a read mode or write mode, or it is an input mode or output mode. Everything you can define over here. Okay. Now there are three types of mode can be there. One is the input mode, one is output mode, another is input pull-up mode. Input pull-up mode means it's an active reverse condition. So active reverse condition. Active reverse condition. So what do you mean by the active reverse condition? Means that whatever input you are giving, suppose if you are giving input 1, this mode, if you write input pull up, that what it will do, that it will take the input as 0, means active reverse. Whatever input you are giving, it will take the reverse of your input. Or if you give the input 0, input 1, if you give it as input pull up. Is this clear to you, student? स्टूडेंट ये इनपुट आउटपुट मोड क्लियर है आपका?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose here I am giving some example. Suppose integer digital read, then pin number, means that pin number I have to read it. So return the state of the input pin. So input pin either may be high. What type of return it will give? Either it will give 5 or it will give 0. 5 means 1 and 0 means 0. 5 means 5 volt. It is giving the return as 5 volt or 0 volt. Based on this, you will come to know the input pin mode is at the digital condition, whether it is 5 or 0 or means 1 or 0. So returns either low 0 voltage or high 5 voltage. Suppose example int pin val. Pin val is one value. It's a variable. Now in pin val we are putting the digital read 3, means that whatever be the value of pin number 3, that will goes to pin val. Now in digital read 3, if I get the value as 5, what does it mean? The pin val will get the value of what? 5 or 1? Students, अगर डिजिटल रीड पिन नंबर 3 में अगर 5 वोल्ट का आया, तो what should be your digital value? It should be 5 or 1? It should be 1. Very good. Now similarly, digital output, void digital write pin val. So I am writing the digital value in that particular pin and what value I am writing. So assign the state of the output pin. Assigns low 0 voltage or high 5 voltage. For example, digital write 3 high. So it is set as the 5 voltage. So these are few examples of digital input and output. So in the next class I will try. आप लोगों ने ये install किया आपके system में Tinkercad, or have you created your account in Tinkercad? Have you created your account, student? So next day, please. I think you have not installed it. So please install Tinkercad within your system. So next day I will give you some exercise and assignment. I will show you some demo so that you can do it using your Tinkercad. Okay. So until and unless you do some practical or hands-on, you will not understand the IoT properly. So my request is, please do it in a practical mode. Is it okay, student? आप लोग करोगे?
Yes, sir.
अगर नहीं